During the process of removing the body, we were able to identify that there was a wire string tied around the neck of the body that was conspicuously seen, and the other end of the wire was tying a bag with some very heavy objects tied in. Of course, also around the waist, there was a stone, seemingly, I think, for keeping the body down in the septic tank. So we removed the bag, the stone, as well as the body, and conveyed them to the mortuary. We never wanted to touch it anyhow, because quite often than not, on any item that is found on a dead body or around the dead body, carry a scientific evidence. So we thought, after delivering it to the mortuary, our SOCOs, scenes of crimes officers, would further process all those items that were all brought from the septic tank. Now, the puzzle became hard at the time of doing a postmortem, because when the bag was opened, the surgeon was able again to find that there was a human skull with other seeming body bones of hands, the limbs, and the legs. And it became now a puzzle. So inevitably, we had to do postmortem on two dead bodies. One, the other one that was conspicuously seen to be a human being, and then this one that had a skull and the bones. Of course, take note that we suspect that any of those bodies belong to Immaculate, but we cannot ascertain whether it is the other one or the other. So the good news is that we had taken the blood samples from the daughter of Immaculate, meaning we can compare it with any of the two dead bodies. But in an event, of course, it may only match only one dead body. The puzzle we have is to whom does the second body belong to? And we have to establish which this body is. Of course, the doctors will establish to us that it was murdered, the person was murdered. Now, we have an appeal to the members of public, especially to anybody who knows. We have an appeal to the general public, especially to whoever knows any of his persons that could have worked at Francis Onebe's place, and he or she disappeared mysteriously, and to date has not been seen, to come to us so that we interview. Probably if the right person, we can take some samples for DNA profiling, so that at the end of it all, we establish who this other second person is. We have not also charged these people, because inevitably we have to ascertain that the bodies which we have are identified. Of course, we can now charge. We can't charge, assuming we charged the suspect we have on ground that the bodies are for Immaculate, and then tomorrow it turn out that it's not Immaculate. It would look shabby. We have had it happen some time back, but the kind of infrastructures we have built, we should not again be shabby. The good news is that we have built a formidable laboratory at Naguru, and we are very, very optimistic that the results will be out. The delays, as somebody may want to ask, sometimes they are inevitable, because the DNA samples that we got from these two dead bodies are not easily examined like the fresh samples. And this is science. It passes through a system. It is processed through a system. And you cannot terminate it in the middle. But the good news is that our scientists are telling us that by the end of the day tomorrow, the results will be out, and therefore we shall be in position to know who these bodies are. Of course, we have the post-mortem, then we compare with the available evidence, then finally we have the suspects charged in courts of law.